I'm waiting for that to drop. I'm waiting for that to drop. Let's go. Woo! Happy Sunday, y'all. Episode 35. Chopvision with your boy Joey Chops. The man Skinny is off in podcast land. He's back there doing the puppet show thing. So y'all shout him out in the comments. We got the homie HtheMan's in the house tonight. Big shout out to him. Thanks for coming through, man.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
so good luck, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming.
Always, man. Glad for having me. Thank you.
Yo, I was just on your podcast a couple days ago.
That's it. That's it. Episode 1.
Up, right? Like, yo.
Episode 1.
What up, Lee J? What up, Alex? Jamie. Shout out to all y'all. What's good?
What up?
Yo, man. Bro, we just spoke about this. I'm going to get right into football. It's Sunday. I'm going to get right into football. We spoke on your podcast the other day.
Yes, sir.
That you thought the 49ers and the Raiders were going to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
And then the Raiders got Harvey Weinstein and with a touchdown, bro. Like, you got seriously touched in a bad way. And that ended our chances. So, yeah. Football this week was bugging, baby. Bugging.
Yeah, man. That's that shit, though, you know. You can't account for the referees, man. You can't account for them. When they fuck up on a national platform. Everybody gets to see that shit. But yo, shout out to the Raiders though. Regardless of the loss, they fought to the very end. You gotta give it to them, man. They had their backs against the wall pretty much the whole year. You know, Martin and controversy and tragedy and just all types of fucked up shit.
Just Raider hood shit, bro. Like that.
There you
literally go. Hood shit.
And it's like, yo, they were able to power through. All the naysayers said they were done, but they were able to power through and get there, man. And you know, despite the L, like I said, we took a bad L. Like you got spanked today.
The Eagles. I was going to talk about that right after we spoke about the Raiders.
Yeah,
but
that shit was ugly. That shit was ugly. You know, and I mean, what can you say?
I don't even have words for that. Like,
I mean, the door is reopened again now, man. You know, Jalen Hurts, he's gonna have to battle for that number 1 spot next year. That shit is obvious. We don't know what's gonna happen going forward, but like I said, man, you know, shout out to the Raiders.
When Jalen started throwing to, I forget the guy's name. I just had this conversation with Madu. It's like when he started throwing to, not Devontae. What's it? No.
What, Dallas Goedert?
Yeah, like once he started throwing to the homie, like everything started working for them, but it was too little, too late, so to speak. Like I don't.
Yeah, you know, you got a lot of garbage points put up towards the end. A lot of garbage point stats, but that shit never really ends the conversation. If you're already, you know, people are already doubting you, doubting your skill and stuff like that. It's easy to open back the door, especially when you don't perform well. But it's like, who really thought that the Eagles were gonna beat the Bucks? Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? They're not on that level. They were able to chop up some W's and make a late season push, but who really thought they were gonna win that game? Let's just be honest. You know, what we could have anticipated was a very good performance. You know, that's what Jalen Hurts had to play for. Just play a good game and then go into the offseason with less speculation on whether or not he was going to be the guy going forward. But when you play like that, and it's like everybody's blaming him, but it's not just him. You know what I'm saying? It starts with the quarterback because he's the central figure of the organization of the franchise. But it's not just him. The team played poorly, you know, as a whole. The coaches were out-coached at every level of the game. And that's just really what it came down to. You know, like they didn't help him. He didn't help himself, obviously, but they didn't help him. You know, there's a lot of terrible play throughout. The defense was really, really bad. I expected the defense to make a lot of mistakes because in the first game, Tom Brady was basically slicing and dicing them, you know, the defensive coordinator came out earlier in the week and talked about, giving him a hard time because the first game they played, he was basically on cruise control. He was on cruise control in this game too. So what changed?
Right.
And to make matters worse, what I spoke about on the pad.
Fuck you, Brady. Fuck you, Brady. You can set that shit on autopilot and just coast right through a goddamn, like, fuck you for that, dude. Like, for real, man.
You see when he was talking shit to the D lineman Nick Barnett? He was talking mad shit to him.
Right, just running his mouth.
Yeah, just running his mouth. But I mean, he could though. He could. He was giving it to him the whole game.
And this is why I hate on Tom Brady so much, and I talk so much Brady-ish, because he backs up what he's like, yo, I'm Tom Brady, and just walks through defenses like it ain't nobody's business. So if you got those kind of balls and shoulders, then you can afford to take the pressure. I'm like, yo, to hell with you. Fuck you, Tom Brady. I'm saying it. Fuck you, Tom Brady. Like, I'm saying it to the world, bro. Like,
he's too good.
When you're that good, somebody's gotta pop your bubble. Sure. Like, hey, come back to earth with your big headed ass. Like, like, yo, come on, it's crazy, dude.
So yeah, this guy's talked about playing till 45. You know he's gonna be back next year.
Of course he's gonna be back next year.
That was last year, because when you're really great at something, you want to be able to step away when you're at the top of your game. When you can still play and you still have that quality of life that you can enjoy, with your family or 100%. Whatnot. And the way he's playing, he looks like he could play another 3-4 years at the top of his game, maybe even 5. He could play till he's 50, as long as they keep him upright. And hey, the Cincinnati Bengals, if you are watching and if you watch that game, if you guys have anything to learn going forward, y'all need to build the wall of China around Joe Burrow. If y'all do that, y'all will be unstoppable because the talent is there. You guys are elite at the wide receiver position. That kid is spectacular. He's going to be amazing.
Couldn't even hate on the Bengals because I fuck with Burrow. Like, the kid can throw.
He can throw. He can play.
As an Alabama fan, when I watched them play LSU, I was like, oh, but I really like this kid. But it's my squad, so I'm going to root for the squad. And fuck, this kid's so good. like I'd love for him to put a silver and black jersey on that kid. Promise land. Straight to the promised land.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, and I fuck with Carr, but I'm just saying, listen, if I got a Ferrari from the 90s and you got a 2021 Ferrari, sure, I still rock a Ferrari. But yours is a little bit, it's got the 6-speed. You might have the extra turbo. Like, yours might be a little bit better. That's all I'm saying.
Word.
Is I know I'm sitting with, like, I'm good, but we can always be better. And, like,
he's extra nice. I like that.
That's a bad white boy right there, man. I'll say that shit. That's a bad white boy right there. And throw a fucking ball. Whoo. Go.
I like him and I like Herbie. I like Herbie from LA. I really like that too. He's going to be nice. Yeah. But the football Sunday, man, didn't
and he gives us Sunday. We ain't just talking 2 scoops, right?
You know what I mean? Like, so since one of my teams are out of there, I'm gonna come on this podcast and I'm gonna give y'all who I feel is gonna be it in the AFC.
Okay.
Because I still want chaos. I want chaos, easy, predictable win.
Shambles and shit.
I want chaos. I want to see the madness occur. Exactly. I like the Buffalo Bills in the AFC this year to push through. And give me the Niners
to continue to
roll. They roll in Dallas right now. It's like, yo, I wasn't wrong with SF.
No.
Fell short with the Raiders pick, but I wasn't wrong with SF. I feel like SF,
we got some Niner fans that watch this show that are like, yo, the homies, the boys are going to the thing. And being an old school Raiders fan,
all the Niners fans on the pod.
Being an old school Raiders fan, like, I don't really fuck with that side of the bay, but I'm just saying, like, I take that shit. Like, once the Warriors switched and we're like, no, we're going from Oracle, we're going over here, and they moved to the other side of the bay, I stopped fucking with the Warriors. I'm like, you left Oakland, I'm out. Like, No, I don't fuck with anything San Francisco. Like, and you know, back in the day, they had the hottest fucking jackets and all of that. I couldn't fuck with it. I was like, I can't do it. Like, I'm a Raider. I've been Raider gear since quarter zip starter pullover hoodies, bro. Like, I jackets, like starter jackets. Like, I'm that OG. I can't do it.
I can't find any more of those starter jackets, yo. It's so hard.
Nah, man.
Starter jackets right now.
Yo, Starter wants to come back and make a boatload of money. Come out with
pullovers. Come on with a pullover.
Straight with that, and everybody and their mama's buying one. Everybody's 100%, buying one.
100%. I'll be one of the first ones in line trying to get one of those.
Facts, bro. I'm like, yo, give me a...
In the Kelly Green.
I'm trying to get a Celtics one, because that shit's straight fire. We live in Montreal, so, I mean, St. Patrick's Day at some point, it'll be a good look. And Raider all day. Like, oh. Starter, if you're listening... Listen to what we're telling you. We'll take 5%. Like, if we want 5%, give us 5% to the fam.
We're putting it out there in the universe.
Right? Into the universe, into the meta, whatever you want to out here. Right?
Let's
like,
go.
Yo, it's crazy. So I've always wanted to ask you, and I don't know if I'm going to catch you on the spot here, but hip-hop. That's where I originally know you from, is music. Well, you were doing music and live performing, and I was the goon inside the club, making sure everybody was safe and whatnot. But I know you from music, dog. What made you get into music?
It's crazy because initially when I started, I was just kicking freestyles just for fun and shit. Like, you know, when you're in school,
with the homies,
yeah. I mean, the freestyles for me. First of all, I was a hip hop fan late. You know, I grew up in the church, so my mama would never allow us to listen to no hip hop. And it's crazy because my younger brother put me on. Shout out to Rico. He put me on to the hip hop. I was just really.
What was the first joint that he put you on in hip hop?
The first joint that I ever fucked with, Limit joint. It was the Ice Cream Man by Master P.
Oh.
That was the first joint. Because both my brothers, Rico and Tristan, they were both into No Limit, heavy. And even before that,
I got a story about that song. I'll tell you after. Like, so good.
That
brings me to a happy place.
It's crazy because when they first were listening to hip hop, I think they were into the bad boy movement at first. I know they were fucking with the bad boy movement
and shit.
Like, exactly, Big, Mace, all those guys, and then they slid off into the South. And I know this for a fact that my brothers were like two of the first homies to come out and listen to the South music. They were on the No Limit, Cash Money movement way before anybody even picked that shit up in Bucktown. I know that for a fact because nobody was fucking with that shit. Everybody was on the East Coast. The Jigga Man.
See, me and your brothers will get along great because I was literally that dude.
All that for sure.
I was that dude. Like, everybody had,
and then I felt
bubble gooses and shit, and I had on like Chuck's khaki dicky suits, bro. Like, I was that dude, right? Like, I totally different side, and I listened to other shit that everybody's like, "Oh, you gotta bump this." I'm like, nah. Like, I'm listening to Too Short or Master P. Like, give me some No Limit. Like, yeah, like I was all on that other shit. So I totally understand exactly where your brothers were at. I was that dude. That's what's up.
Everybody was right. These niggas was left. They were always on the left side. So, like, our rooms were like right next to each other. So I was listening. I was hearing everything through the walls, and I was like heavy into sports. So music didn't really roll with me until like I was like 13, 14. And then I fell into DMX. I was going through a real tough time growing up and shit. And DMX kind of like helped me navigate through a lot of that shit. You know, everything that I listened to that he made, it touched me deep. Because I was kind of like, I felt a lot of his struggles, you know what I'm saying, through his words and shit. So that permitted me to start writing lyrically, and I was already good because I read poems, and that's something that I would put down. Like I got a lot of credit from my Black History and English teacher, Miss Veronica Johnson, back in high school. She was really always on me about my schoolwork, and at the time, you know, when you're in school, I was one of those kids that was always fucking around doing dumb shit, you know, selling drugs.
Growing up, right? Like we all do it.
That's it, you know, doing dumb shit. And I was always in the bus shed in front of the school. That's where you move the dime bags and whatnot, and the homies would be there. We'd be smoking before going to class. Sometimes we wouldn't be going to class, just pretty much spending the whole day there smoking. And I had one
You think
homie.
about that, like think back about that. We're sitting in the bus shelters in front of the school, wondering why we're getting caught. Like, what the fuck are we thinking?
Yeah.
Why are you getting in trouble? I don't know, baby, because I'm sitting here and it looks like fucking a Cypress Hill concert coming out of the bus shelter. What?
And you know what's worse? It's right there where the teachers are pulling in to go into the parking lot. So they see
you as standing there,
and like you go into class later, and they're just giving you these looks, and then you feel some type of ways, but it's really you doing it. You know what I'm saying? But again, when you're young, you're dumb, full of cum, doing
like,
shit.
It's hilarious. Some of the shit that we used to do.
That's
4 or 5 of you go out, you know, behind the school and do a little 1-2, and then you all have the same class. You walk in and it smells like Bob Marley and the Wailers are walking through the door, and the teacher's like, "You don't think I get I don't get faded too? Like I know what the fuck you." My cousin smells like that. I know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, some of the shit that we used to do, and I think back, I'm like, yo, please don't let none of my kids do this because I'm gonna catch you. Because like I'm not gonna play dumb. But hey, dickhead. Like I smell that. Like I smoke that. Like I know what the fuck you're doing, right? Like come on. It just brings me to like I think teachers need to be a little bit more real with the kids and whatnot, man. Like I had some teachers in school that was like, yo, I know what you're doing. Slow it the fuck down. Keep it for after school and shit. I was like, well, at least you're not telling me no. Like you're treating me as if I'm an adult. But I mean, later on they would snitch on your ass and you still get in trouble. But that's neither here nor there.
It's crazy because I went to like a lot of high schools when I was a kid. Like the longest period of time I spent in high school was from grade 7 to grade 8. That's the only time I went to like the same high school. And then when I came back in the 9th grade, they had kicked my ass out. So I went to like 4 high schools, you know, in 3 years. And then after I got kicked out of the last high school, no school wanted to take me. They were like, yo, this little nigga's too much. We like, you know, you're not gonna come to any other schools. Nobody in the school board wants you, you know, and you have this huge dossier following you to pretty much every school you go to. You have no chance.
Literally telling my story, brother. You're
so
telling exactly my story.
I was like the youngest student to go to adult ed at the time. They had just opened up this adult ed school called Cartier way back when, and it's crazy. Ironically, the principal who started that school was my principal at elementary school. So when I started on my bad seed trail, he was the guy to kind of like keep me, you know, on the straight and narrow.
Bring your black ass back over here. Like, what are you doing?
That's it. He would never kick me out. He would never suspend me. He would just deal with me in the school, you know, and like tell my parents, you know, this kid's up to no good. I got him. Don't worry. I'm not going to send him home. So he understood how to deal with me. So even though I was, you know, 16 at the time, I was able to like kind of navigate my way through the adult education system. But that's where it all started when I was in adult ed. Moving dime bags, and within a year or two, I mean, everybody's just like, yo, you're too nasty. You gotta keep this shit up, man. You should go to the studio and record. I wasn't really into it. I was just like, yeah, just having fun with it, you know. But people kept on telling me, and like I said, I was going through a hard time, and I was heavy with the right game, and that's something to this day I'm still very fortunate. I thank God every day because I still have the pen work. The pensmanship is still on point.
Oh yeah, man. The penmanship, just for like the randomest stuff, like football speeches to these kids and shit, man. Like hearing you go off, I'm like, does he sit at home at night and he's like, yo, cool, I'm gonna have me a tea and I'm just gonna write this shit out. I'm like, or just coming straight off the top of his head, like it's crazy. I just want to get out there and kill the other fucking guys and go. And you break down all this philosophical. I'm like, yo, this is gets me hyped the fuck up. I'm like, I'm gonna go do something. Does anybody need help moving or something? Like, this guy's got me motivated and shit.
Yo,
yeah, your penmanship, man. You're a wordsmith for sure, man. It's crazy. I fuck with you for that. That's what's up.
And you know, I always did shit differently though. Like my shit was never really boxed in, and I got a lot of credit for that, for just being original, being different, and not being like everybody else. Because especially in Montreal, we never really had an institution to base our shit out. You know.
What? I used to get paid 50 cents an hour to go to school.
Yo, that's
okay,
that's
Uncle
ill.
Dude, just so we're clear, that's called jail. Okay. That's called jail, bro. Where you make your little 3 cents a day while you're working in the kitchen. That's called jail. I appreciate you telling me you got paid to go to school, but I'm pretty sure he just lied to us and said he was in jail, bro. This nigga. Yeah.
Yo, Uncle, man, I ain't gonna knock it. I got paid too. But in different ways. I have to earn my stripes, you know. So shout out to you, salute, Uncle.
Right? Oh shit, that's mad funny.
But yeah, yo, like that's how it all started. Just, you know, kicking the freestyles at school, kicking the freestyles in the hood, just rapping. And then that one time I got an opportunity to go to a studio. I laid some shit down, and the rest is history. You know, the first track I ever recorded was the first track I ever wrote. You know, because when I was making songs, I always wrote the songs. I never freestyled and recorded. Like, to me, like when you're freestyling, you're kind of doing it so you can try to catch a direction of where you're trying to go. You know, I was not a battle rapper. I was a writer, and I preferred that way of creating because it was something that stuck with me. When you freestyle, it's a one take Jake. Very rarely.
Boxing match.
That's it. That's
it.
I know there's a lot of dudes out there right now that they could just spit it off the top of their dome and probably like remember a lot of it. You know, shout out to the homie Dr. J Red. He don't write. I've been in the studio with the homie. He don't write. Everything he does is right off the dome. Like he'll drop 6 bars.
Fucking crazy, right?
I'm telling you, that kid, he has a story of how he put it together, and one day he'll be on here and he'll break it down.
Definitely.
So that's his story.
Jay Red the Doc, you gotta come on the show, bro. We're gonna harass you. I'm gonna get HtheMan to harass you. I am going to harass you to come on the show. Skinny, hit him up, harass his ass. I gotta get him on the thing. I was vibing to y'all's music. I've been watching him do his thing forever, like working at the local pub, right? Like he would do the shows at the spot and shit. So he's a kid from down the street, right? So like I knew him through like the nephews and whatnot, and all of a sudden this little motherfucker just got, I'm like, yep. How are you spitting on some like the flow is straight pimp shit? Like I've always said that to him, is his flow is straight pimp game, like fully. I love that shit, and you need to come on a damn show. Like that's got to be a thing.
Yeah, he's a part of like a very select few of other rappers or artists, if you will, that I've had the pleasure of working with over the years. You know what I'm saying? Millie Mills is another one. Like Millie's flow, his flow game is unbelievable. You know, when you hear this guy go off, and he's just really like pound for pound, I think like top 5 in MTL. You know, if you're talking about rappers who really put the city 100%. On to a larger degree.
He always, to me, like after knowing him through other ventures and shit like that, like the way that he is, if you were to picture like, okay, say I met him today and I didn't know he was a rapper, and then I found that he was an MC, I'd be like, yo, I totally makes sense how you would be good at it, because anything that he does, he makes sure to do that just enough where it's not the norm, but it's fresh and it's cool and it sounds familiar, right? Right. Like with the whole football program, like we see all these things through the States and shit, and then when he gets together with all of you guys and was like, yo, I got this idea, this vision, and of course it's going to be a little bit different to I want to say Americanize the thing to where it's cool. And so totally knowing, like, yo, you spit bars, that makes sense. Like, of course you're gonna be good at it because the mental game is right. Like,
it's crazy because it's crazy that you say that, because Millie and I only really had the chance to do one record together. My whole run while I was rapping, we never really got the chance to get in the studio and hammer out like a lot of work. He was in a different direction, and I was in a different direction because I'm more so underground, and I find like with him, he was more so more mainstream, but
For sure,
not
100%.
into like a pop. You know what I'm saying? Like how it
No,
is now. It's not like a pop way, but more so the flash, the fire type shit.
yeah,
My lane was more underground. I constructed my own lane, and he was in that, not in the same lane as me, but the lane he constructed, it was more built for his persona, for what he was representing, for where he was coming from and stuff like that. So we were on two
can I
different
make
roads.
a comparison in
Hmm.
my mind from listening to both of your music and whatnot from back in the day? I feel the
Right.
boot camp click versus like I don't want to say J, but I could say the J G Unit vibe, like you know what I mean. You're very like Sean Price, very underground but known, and I would put him. I don't want to say a Lloyd Banks, but lyrically skilled, but like still pound for pound an MC, but you're more flashy, like out there, like yo, I'm here. This is it. You know what I mean? Like that's the two genres of what I can see from the two sides of it. But still, putting that together, bro, like that would have been legendary for the city when it came to music.
Oh, for sure.
Like Meth and
I,
Red, bro. Like that would literally Redman's Brick City, Meth is Staten, but New
right,
York's like the two vibe. Oh, that would have been crazy.
right. So
History missed out on something blessed on that one.
oh, for sure. You know, I've worked with a litany of artists out of MTL. I had a lot of opportunities to work with different artists, and I could really just like put that on my versatility as a rapper. You know, be able to rap over many different sounds. You know, many different productions. You know, when I hooked up with Skinny, I was coming from working with Sammy Baghdad, who I feel personally is directly responsible for helping me create the sound that I had, you know, with the voice that I had too. The voice that I created to rap over is nothing like how I sound like when I'm talking to you. It's completely different. And my whole theme behind that was the voice represented the struggle, the gruff, the pain, you know, going through the different things that you go through as a youth, and then you try to make your way out of it as a man, but you're still finding that sound that really hits people directly. It's like, yo, this is completely different from what I'm listening to, you know, and that's directly an inspiration from the artists that I grew up listening to. Guys like DMX, Shine was another one who unfortunately wasn't really able to expand on his career. You know, I love Mob Deep, you know, Prodigy and Havoc, those two guys, they're direct influences on my sound and how I rapped and I came out of it, you know what I'm saying? So um Nas was another one, Biggie. You know, these guys they touched me deep differently. They were different. So all those guys, you know, I have to pay tribute because they all had something to do with the way that I created my sound. But I really feel like the homies who had my back, shout out to Cali, shout out to Biz, shout out to my nigga Black Keezy, you know, at different points in my
Wow.
life, you know, Milk Talk, Christoph, everybody who's, you know, Miss Mags as well, you know, the only girl in the U-Bat, always pushing my shit hard. She was going everywhere and that telling everybody about the movement. Young Banger, you know, everybody who really had a say in the creation of the Unknown Battalion, the whole movement together. You know, I would be nothing without those individuals. You know, so I just want to express my gratitude and you know, extend my love to all
Shouts
of
out to
them
them.
right now. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that's how it all started. It started with a few freestyles, and then me just kind of pushing the envelope, just seeing like how I can get this thing moving. And when I fell in love with it, I fell in love with it hard. That's something about me. When I love hard. You know what I'm saying? And
Anybody that knows you know that's for fucking sure.
exactly.
Like,
You know, I got a really big heart for things that I'm very passionate about, and I
100%.
don't take no for an answer. Which is why that propelled me to travel. to be able to leave Montreal and like pretty much see the world.
That segues me into my next question when it comes to music. These are the things that I know I'm hitting you off the rip, like we've never had this conversation, but I'm like, yo, these are things that as somebody who's never like I say this kind of shit to Skinny all the time. Like I'm not part of the music. It always fascinated me. Like my dad played like Southern rock music, had the #1 Southern rock band, cover band here in Montreal. Like did the whole bar circuit and could have done like crazy things with it. And I watched him teach himself with a buddy how to play guitar at like 40 years old.
Wow.
And start a band and like do the Telephone of Stars on TV, drag me up on stage and make me sing country music. That's not on the internet. Thank God for that not being the thing. Like iPhones and shit. I am so glad that wasn't a thing when I was growing up because in cowboy boots, jeans, like full country get up, looking like Dolly Parton and shit on stage, singing on TV. This guy, yeah. World surprise, like that was a thing that happened to me. So yeah, so like I never got into it. Like I was fascinated by music, but I knew that I didn't possess the skill to spit bars. Like I spit little 16s like by myself, like when I'm vibing to a track or whatever, like for sure. And I memorize every lyric and imitate other styles. Yeah, but what you guys like do, it fascinates the fuck out of me. So now that I have a moment here to talk to you about it, like yeah, I'm totally gonna take advantage of that. And if any point I touch on some shit, you're like, okay, I don't want to talk. It's cool. Like I'm not. I'm just really intrigued about the whole music aspect. Like we talk football all the time, and like I'm coaching aspirations. This is the shit that I wanted to ask you, and we just never had the moment to sit down and like break bread to do it. So like I'm super stoked by you doing this. But yeah, back to I'm tripping already. Back to you've been all over the place. It's not like you just performed here. Like you've been all over. What's the dopest place or the situation, like that place where you have performed it? Like, what's the craziest spot where you were like, you got off a plane and were like, holy fuck, I'm like one of those moments, you know, like I'm here.
Italy was
That's
crazy.
Fucking banana. Did you just hear what he said? He said fucking Italy. Italy, my dude.
Yo,
Italy
was fucking emotional. I got to perform in front of a massive crowd, and I was just lucky enough to be a part of that tour. I have so much love, respect, and admiration for Onyx. Those guys, Sticky Fingers and Fredro Starr, they're like big brothers to me. And it's been years since we touched base and shit. But those guys really allowed for me to express myself and to get my sound out across the globe. You know, Perry Papadakis as well, who was my booking agent at the time, also really kind of put me onto those guys and got me to travel with these guys multiple times, not just in Canada doing the tours with them here on the home turf, but across the world. And
that's crazy.
I performed in a lot of different venues, you know, all
favorite hip hop group of all. I got hair now, but I'm gonna bald head, black hoodie. It's like that was literally. I remember.
I've seen you.
We'll get right back to.
I've seen you bald.
The craziest spot, but that was the first. When I asked you what was your first hip hop, was No Limit. My mom had this friend, and her son was like this group home, in and out of group home kind of kid. And he had let me listen to Back the Fuck Up. I was like 12 or 13 years old. It's like, here, I'm like, yo, don't let your moms take this tape. Like, I got this from somebody in Shopbridge. Like, like, yo, trust me, it'll change your life. Instantly, put the tape in the Walkman, played it. I wanted to shave my fucking head, bro. I started walking around. I was talking all mean and shit. Like, what? Like, yo, changed my entire. I went from chilling, listening to like Snoop Dogg and like on that West Coast vibe to I wanted fucking Tim's, hard denims, black hoodie, bald head, and if you fucked with me, I swear to God, it was slam all day. Like that, literally. So you performing and like knowing and breaking bread with these cats, bro. It's like I tell Skinny too. Like it's like meant to be that we all came to. It's crazy, bugging the fuck out.
Fredro's the friendliest motherfucker in the world.
There you go.
The voice of God speaks.
Super friendly. Like, man, I heard y'all talking. I had to stop, like, pause for a sec, put the baby down. I was really like, yo, for real, what he said, like, the persona that they give, yeah, they'll stomp you out. But if they know you and they rock with you, boy, it's like you'd never think. It's just like so much respect for those guys. So much.
Yo, let me just tell y'all something. If there's two realer dudes in the hip hop game than Fredro Starr and Sticky Fingers, I haven't met them.
Straight up facts.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I haven't met them. And maybe that's because you know I have a lot of love, not just for them. I have a lot of love for the Locks as well. You know, I was lucky enough to meet Jada Kiss, who's one of my favorite rappers. I had the opportunity to meet Styles P, Sheik Luch. I was actually on tour with Sheik Luch in Europe.
What?
Yeah, we linked up with Sheik Luch in Europe too. So I'm telling y'all, you know, and it's crazy because then later on we came back and then we met him. I did South by Southwest with the homie Snock the Ripper out in Vancouver. Shout out to Snock the Ripper. Been years I haven't seen my homie. That's a good brethren of mine. Really doing
that's a name I know
for Vancouver. We met Sheik Luch while he was performing. He had a couple sets actually, out South by Southwest, and both of them I was able to perform in. And that was a wonderful opportunity for me too. First time I ever went to Austin, Texas. It was a huge event. It's always a huge event. And I met Sheik Luch down there too. And he remembered us from that one date. So, you know, sometimes they say, you know, when you meet your heroes in real life, they always let you down. These guys didn't let me down. They didn't, you know. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. You know, there's nobody realer than those guys. You know, the Locks, Onyx, those guys are real to the core. You know, a couple of tour dates didn't pan out for me as an artist, and I'm telling y'all real. This is a true story. I was out. I believe it was in. I forget where the date was. It was a small town called Herlen, somewhere in Europe, Herlen. And it was cold as fuck out there. I didn't have a jacket because I thought that Europe was like nothing like Montreal. So whatever, I was out there with the what's it called, the windbreaker, the what's it called, the Columbia windbreaker. Okay, you know those little ones you wear in the fall out here. So I'm out there with it. It's fucking cold as fuck. I didn't have a jacket, and Sticky Fingers had just bought this North Face jacket. He literally just bought it before he came on tour, and I didn't have a jacket. And
yes, I understood.
Yo, what up? The homie came up and he gave me the jacket off his back. First of all, the jacket was bigger than him. He shouldn't even have been wearing that shit, but he had Big Goose, and he's like, "Yo, HMAN, you ain't got a jacket? Nigga, it's cold as fuck out here." I'm like, I know. I didn't think it was cold. He's like, "Yo, you gotta take this." He took the jacket off and he gave me the jacket. And the next day we were on a connecting flight. We were heading to Poland. Yo, this nigga stopped in the airport. He wanted to drop like 1,500 euro.
Time out. We're not just gonna say Poland and roll the fuck on like you didn't just say Poland, nigga.
No, they were doing it. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Poland and keep it pushing. Now we went from Italy. Now we're talking about Poland. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Fine, like I said, man.
Continue. I'm sorry.
I had the greatest team in the world. We had an amazing run. And I'm telling you, like I said before, I wouldn't even be nowhere when it comes to hip hop. The run that we had was historical. And I don't know any other artist except for Bad News Brown, RIP to the big homie, that really was able to get around like that outside of the city and really do it where they're traveling worldwide, touching different continents across the world. I never seen that. And we had an amazing run. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the likes of a Cali Cal, MCD Bizoy, Keezy, Black, Young Banger, Miss Mags. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have been able to get out there. Even Perry, to an extent, Perry Papadakis responsible for looking me up with Onyx and putting us on. Perry Papadakis responsible for a lot of people in Canada doing some ill shit. You know what I'm saying? So Stock the Ripper, his run, Mercules, his run, all those guys I did tours with, all those guys I came up with in the game. Perry Papadakis attributed a lot to everybody's career. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy. But yeah, Poland,
watching Sticky buy a brand new jacket, like
Russia. Russia is not for black people.
Oh, for sure not. Yeah. Let's go. Tell him. You need to tell them that. Tell them.
But and another thing is, Pavel Bure is king. Pavel Bure, one of the illest hockey players I grew up watching, is king in Russia. He is the fucking man. I mean, to this day, they got banned. This motherfucker all over. He's that dude. So, just to kind of segue off that, but Pavel Bure, one of the illest scorers ever, was killing shit out there when we were out there. This was like, fuck, man, close to almost 10 years ago. But I made friends all across the globe. Man, I've been to a lot of places. I don't even know how we got in this place. But like I was saying, so Sticky gave me his jacket off his back, and he bought another jacket like it was in shit. And I was like, damn, man, these niggas is really ill. Till this day, I have that jacket. And that shit looks like it was just.
And that's a family fucking heirloom at this point, bro. Like,
I ain't never get passed down. Even when I can't wear that shit no more, I'ma still own that shit because that was a gift. This guy didn't have to give it to me.
Piece of hip hop history, man.
And he did. And I'll tell that story 50 times over. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's a real dude right there. And I made tracks with him. Me and Sticky have an ill track on the Raw project. I think I got an album up here somewhere. Hold on 1 second. Let me just stop.
Yo, people,
y'all see Sticky Fingers right here?
Yo, you see it? What he's this is exclusive right here. We're seeing this shit.
You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Sticky. We got Skin Deep on this too. Skin Deep's on this too.
I'm sorry, Skinny. You're not just pop out.
There you go, right there. So this we got a lot of memories, man. A lot of history.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give y'all your motherfucking flowers. Like, this shit's crazy.
It was great.
Nah, a lot of people. I don't know if people know. With Skinny and I, we have an exclusive project together. The Hulk. That was.
Oh yeah. We beat the game up with Hulk. They weren't ready for Hulk.
Yeah, no, they weren't.
They weren't ready for Butter. They weren't ready for Hulk, especially 2.0.
Hey!
Listen.
The West Coastin'.
They weren't ready for half of them shits, bro. Man,
they had a lot of joints. My bad, Blitz here, just trying to maybe give him some love. But yeah,
I found this man on the internet and I tracked him down and I was just like, listen, like, you may not know me. I'm a producer. I don't know you from a pea. I don't know you from a peanut. Nothing. We're not friends or nothing like that, but I need to produce for you. And he's like, all right, let's see what it is. Whatever. So I sent him some beats. And at the time, most people would be like, yeah, I'll check your beats out and not do nothing. Y'all know who you are. And H comes back. I think I made a beat just like that morning. I sent it to him. I don't know what I was doing that day, but like I got my phone rang up like 9 times from him, and then Callie's calling me and he's like, yo, you gotta check this. It's when you did what's it called? You know the joint I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was
like Goku.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Once I heard that first track he recorded, I was just like, that was not even the first track. Once I heard that track, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be problems. I need to like really make beats. So at the time, like, I'd make beats, but like it was like, no one's really recording, so I'm not really producing. And then these guys come along and they're just like, no, we need this for this mixtape, we need this for this mixtape. They did a hella tracks and cushion packs, and I'm like, I think there was like out of 13 or 16 tracks, I'm like 7. At the same time, I'm working on my own album, so it's legit all the extra that I have to kind of save for myself. I'm giving it. I'm just like, yo, take it, because I know it's just gonna be bangers. Then we do Hulk, which was initially like 5 tracks, and I was like, okay, cool. But he's like, yo, Scan, I want to do the Hulk 2.0, da da da, and I'm like, fine. I got these other 5 that seem to be better than the first 5. And then we just flooded the game. At one point, it was just like every week on K103 or something, there was just HMAN songs playing. And it was just HMAN Skin Deep, HMAN Skin Deep, HMAN Skin Deep for like a solid 6 months. We took over. It was craziness, man.
Oh,
I have to thank you for that because you put the battery in my back.
Fuck, I missed that. It used to be so good.
Yeah.
And hearing people's names, I'm like, getting like, yo, I know that nigga. Like, it was such a good time. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy because even after that, all that, there was a little. This is crazy because there's a story in there right towards that 6-month run that me and Skinny was on all them beats that he had produced for me. He had sent me this beat pack, and in the beat pack, I dropped a track. It was with Dr. J and the homie. What's his name? I feel so bad because I know him. Dr. J, he was a duo before.
Oh, Blue.
Blue.
Oh, J Blue.
J Blue. That's it. I was about to say Boy Blue. That's complete over the years. Yo, shout out to Boy Blue. That's another brethren right there. But yo, J Blue, and I had laid down some heat on a track that Skinny made, and they made a track on the same beat.
Oh,
the beats got mixed up. Yeah. So Skinny had given that beat out to them before me, but I heard the track later.
Mm-hmm.
So when they put that track out, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck's going on here?"
Yep.
The Skinny. I had to hit up Skinny. Like, yo, Skinny. What's
and
going
it was
on?
real.
I thought these fucking beats was exclusive, my nigga. And he was like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" You know. So I let him hear the beat, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And there's this huge thing because I went to the source. I went to those 2 dudes, and I reached out to Dr. J directly. That's how me and him connected.
To be cool,
right? Because before I was like, "Yo, y'all motherfuckers stole my shit," and he's like, "Nah." He was like, "Nah, homie, we got this from Skin Deep." I'm like, "How y'all get that from Skin Deep? This is exclusive fire. Y'all can't have my beat." Like, nah. You know, the dividends will need to be paid. I want my restitution. I want my motherfucking restitution. You ain't gonna just come here and spit on my tracks. That shit ain't gonna happen.
It was next summer, wasn't it? It was the next summer track, right?
No, that was another one. We ended up. They ended up making we ended up making. No, it wasn't the next summer. Yeah, it was. That's it. It was
next summer. Yeah, because I sampled. It was Thundercat. Joint. That was the Thunder. Yeah, that's it. I remember. Yeah.
So. We ended up hooking up.
Wars and shit, bro.
Causing wars. Listen,
I was ready to crush those 2 white boys like soda cans. That's how I was ready to fuck them up. I was like, nah, this shit, y'all niggas know who I am. Like, that's how I was on that shit. But then I ended up linking up with them, and I was like, yo, these are the two coolest, illest youngins that I ever came across. Dr. J was so just mellow. I'm like, yo, how are you so mellow? You always mellow, like you just a real mellow cat, like. And to this day, that's the exact.
The Doc's medicated, bro. Good.
That's the homie. That's my little brother right there, man.
That's brown bottle days, right? Like
he grew into this shit so nicely. You know, when you talk about fine wine, Dr. J is really that definition. You know, he stayed with it. When other people went different ways, he stayed with it. Yep. And he's so nice. He's so nice. People don't know. And I keep telling him, you got to get the fuck up out of Montreal. You know where you need to be? You need to be in Los Angeles. You know, I've been telling him that for years. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna have his time. His time's gonna come soon because he's still young and he's still killing them shits.
Could you imagine him down in Texas, dog?
Oh, bro, listen.
He goes to H-Town and it's fucking rap.
You know who would fit in? He would fit in NY. He's got that type of his flavor. I feel is more on the underground NY style because Why I said LA first is because the way he flows, it would catch out there. It would. He's got it. He's got the persona. He's got that the mellow flow, and it's effortless. This guy will just be sitting in a chair and he could just he'll murder any beat. Give it to him and he'll just do it.
He's so nice with it. It's crazy.
I had so much opportunities working with him. He's one of my main go-to guys. When we talk about collaborations, we never had a chance to actually make a collaborative project. And we should have did that. Skinny should have been the producer behind that shit. But we never had a chance.
That's coming though.
Yeah,
that's it. See your fingers? Go like this. Skinny, can I see your fingers? Yeah, that ain't broke on me, so he can definitely make beats. And like you conversing, so which means you still got the penmanship. And J-Red ain't gone nowhere. I'm trying to put history together.
I need a send-off project. I need a send-off project where to properly send my shit off because I feel like the people need that. But if I'm ever gonna do another collaborative project, then Dr. J, the show would be on the top of the list. Me and this guy always make magic together. Always. We at the studio. That's all it is. Just get me and this guy in the studio. A bottle of brown. Some gin.
My black ass sitting in a corner watching all of this go down.
Oh, for sure. There's only one place me and Dr. J would work to make that happen too. That's the Freak Shop. Shout out to Dave. That's the homie over there.
Yep.
He knows the sound inside out. He still got like catalogs of mine in that fucking place. That's home. That's the home base. But like I said, man.
Wait, you're trying to tell me that there's music out there on the cutting room floor that ain't been put out yet?
Oh, for sure. Dave has
everything.
Everything. He's got everything. I mean, I got hard drives over here too. Some old ass shit. I gotta blow the dust off them. Just to plug in. There's just tracks that I haven't even released yet. But those are some of the best times. Some of the best times I ever had was just working.
Sitting on gems, homie. Like the world you might have said something about that. You don't even remember that the world right now needs to hear it.
That's it. I know like I have 11 studio release albums that I put together, over the years. That's for me. I feel like that's a great accomplishment too. Mixtapes,
11
albums, 11
studio albums. Sure. That's fucking great.
For sure.
I keep learning all kinds of new shit today. That's crazy.
100%.
This nigga's gone to
this
Italy,
is and this too.
Poland,
Germany. H. Magic talks like Harry
Germany,
Potter. Yeah. You remember that line? Magic talk like Harry Potter.
Yo, let me hear that shit. Nah, I don't. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, because I'm looking through your stuff and I found that I'm looking at the tape. So it's a rap series, 2 of 3. And is it Miss Me or which track was it? Which was like, oh man. Okay, so we were talking about this shit.
Now,
hey, see how I'm doing my own voiceover.
So that's the beat he was talking about that I kind of, because I passed it to Red. I'm like, he ain't gonna do nothing. And then H came with this crazy hook, and I was just like, well, he has to have that. And then then Red goes and drops the next one, and then H is calling me, and I'm just like, oh, like I had never been gorilla strong armed by like that. I haven't the Hood called me on this podcast. I haven't had the Hood call me on the phone and be like, hey yo, what's with this beat? And I was just like, oh shit, this is real. Oh, okay.
Hey man, hey.
Hey man.
See what happened was.
But yo, not even a joke. I hadn't developed my like voice yet. So like I'm trying to boss up, but I'm still like 13 in my voice, speaking to a 7 foot tall Undertaker looking ass nigga. And man's is I'm like, hey man. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I was shook. I was straight shook. I'm just like, listen, how can I make 5 beats within 5 minutes so I can send it to this man so he doesn't eat me?
But yo, I always told Skinny when I first found out like he was making music and shit and doing his thing, I always told him, I was like, listen, homie, I don't know shit about music, but I can Suge Knight the shit out of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need somebody, bro, holler at the homie and like, yo, I'm pulling the fuck up and it's cool. And I always told him that. I was like, don't ask me to make a beat. Give me my motherfucking 808. If Skinny ever makes me a solid 808, I swear to God, I'll spit bars. But that'll be the only time. So yeah, I mean, so it's always funny. The fucking.
I'm glad that we linked. The way we linked up Chops wasn't the Suge Knight way. we linked up at the door, and that was it, man. You know what I'm saying? We just cool right from the door, right from the entry point. And yo, shout out to Golfo too, man, because we used to do that shit every month.
Yes, McAllen's Pub. Shout out to y'all.
I know for a fact. Dr. J was here. He would be telling you that too. A lot of great memories at McAllen's Pub, putting on those monthly shows. It was great, man. I love that spot. It was a little spot, but yo, it was packed. It was always packed. Even though we had that little corner stage, we made that shit work. It was awesome.
The sound in that place was crazy. Like I enjoyed the sound quality that would
100%.
That spot.
That's what's up, yo.
Shit, I remember one time, speaking of Doc, I'm standing over by he's like, yo, I want you to come stand over by the speaker when I do my set. I ain't thinking, I'm like, whatever, all right, cool. So I'm standing by like the bar and the stage, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the set, this little nigga jumps up on the speaker, grabbed a hold of my shoulder, and it starts rhyming over my head, bro. Like, just spitting to the, and I'm like, all right, I fuck with you. Like, I see what you're doing here, and I fuck with you because it's dope. But like, I ain't a part of the show, bro. I'm not the entertainment. Your ass is the entertainment. I'm not coming in and say, hey, I ain't doing none of that. I'm Steve Harvey and that shit. Like, I paid $35.95. Don't ask me to participate. I'm chilling. like I'm doing my thing. So yeah, and I remember you being at like that show too, and it's just crazy. And then fast forward, I meet you at like, I want to say with a flag football thing or something like that with my kid. Years later, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like this world just fucking.
Everything comes full circle, yo. Everything. That's just how it
I remember
works,
J-Red going like, yo, you know my boy H. Like, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? He's like, Coach H is my dude, bro. Like, he's performed in Gofo. Like,
I want to know when HMAN digivolved into Coach H because I missed that too. I was like, I messed around and like started a family and shit, did all sorts of fuckery, and I was like, let me check on Rich real quick. And I was like, oh, what? I see the HtheMan IG is not really active, and then I see Coach H pop up. I'm just like, Coach H, what's this? I don't know. God damn it! All right. Next thing you know, you and Chops are doing shit together, and I was like, okay, the world's getting kind of small. I need to jump back in here.
Right?
Sheesh, man.
Yo, it's crazy because it was right around the time when I jumped into football. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but football was my first passion before music, because I was always fucking with the athletics. I played baseball first as a youngin, and then I segued that into football when I moved to the West Island, and I love football. That's my first love, and it was crazy because I was going through it for a good minute right after the music started to slow down a little bit for me and reality kicked. I needed something to kind of like revive myself, to make myself feel
phase 2
useful again, loved, and I knew that would ignite that flame in me again, because I was kind of like going off to the deep end. And whenever you immerse yourself into something that you really enjoy doing and things kind of slow down for you, or you start to feel that reality, the ground shifting underneath you and shit, it could be scary, you know what I'm saying? And I had to get real, and that's pretty much what it was. I made some bad business decisions and shit like that, and a lot of people fucked me over, and that's another story for another day. We'll definitely be able to get into that one of these days here. But I needed something, and my shorty at the time was kind of like encouraging me. She was pushing me to kind of get with the football program, because I had a homie too at the time who was trying to get me to coach while I was touring, and I was into the music heavy, and I couldn't like see myself as a youth football coach because I spent so much time chasing my dream of becoming an artist. And I just had no time.
Let me handle this, and then I'll come back and coach like Coach
That's
Snoop.
it.
But
Come back. That was always
get my Grammy and then come back.
There you go. That was always in the cards. I wanted to give back to my community. Even when I was on the movement tips, I always wanted to give back to the community. And when things got slow, the opportunity represented itself again. So I immersed myself into the coaching. I gave it a chance. I gave it a chance, and I attended a couple of practices. I kind of fell in love with the kids, and then boom, that's pretty much how it happened. I helped my homie out, finish out the season. The team was doing very poorly when I got there. And I think I was only able to coach once a week or whatever it was. And then the following year, I committed myself full time. And that's when everything kind of just like took off from there. And then the year and the year and the year. And then 6 years later, great group of kids. Shout out to them. Oh shit, look at this. That's the team right there. That's the squad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Squad. You see right there.
Mine's upstairs on the wall.
Right there. That's the homie right there, Chopper style.
Yo, coaching football with you has been like an honor, bro. Like I want to.
For sure.
It's been so much fun. As much as the ups and downs. Let's be honest. It's young kids football. Like, it's not the end of the fucking world, but some people would think that, but once you get into that shit, like that whole, you don't realize, like when you're on the outside, like I remember before when Harlem wanted to play football, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like this is before my pops passed. Like I'm like, yo, I'm always doing other shit with like the old man. Like I was living the son to my dad rather than a father to my son, if that makes sense. Like I was still following my old man around. Like, all right, cool. We're trying to hustle and trying to make better for my youth. So I got to stick with, instead of like, okay, I'm going to take you to football practice. Like, no, okay, football's from this time to this time. I can be making money from this time to this time. So no, right? Like I got to be, or doing other shit or whatnot. So when Pops passed, I fell back in love with football. Like I needed something to catch my mind because it was going down a very dark fucking hole. It's literally for another episode that'll probably never come out because I don't want the people to necessarily know exactly how dark that place got. But then I get one of his homies, his mom's like, yo, we're doing football, da-da-da-da. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll bring him. Like, fuck it. Like, he's been bugging me for 2 years now to play football. I'll bring him. So I brought him over to, I want to say it was the Kirkland, the Golf Dome in Kirkland.
Right.
That's
what it was.
I brought him over there, and I hear this voice. Like, as they're walking through that spinning fucking door, I hear this voice. Like, okay, I was like, what the fuck is, like, all right, shit. This place is kind of turned up. Like, okay. So I walk down, like, my kid disappears. Like, oh, my friend's there. And he's fucking gone. And then I hear this voice is coming from you. And I'm like, oh. And I'm looking, going, oh, this look familiar, but I see so many people in my day-to-day of life, right?
Yeah.
My profession, and just like how I'm living, like I see mad people. Corona took all of that away from me, but that's something. But yeah, like seeing people is my thing, right? So I'm looking, going, I know him. Why do I know him? And I know, like, I can look at you, and you're looking back at me like, I know this nigga too, but once again, with football, like, he could be a football dad. It could be something like you see so many people. It's I don't know what circle I seen you in, but like I know you. So it's just crazy. And to see that, like the same thing with you, football bringing you out of a dark place and helping you feel, for the lack of a better term, like useful or something to do, like something, because that's how I felt. It was like it gave me a purpose. Like I said, like it was a solid purpose where there was a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like it was a thing, and like that's how I see in the past 3 or 4 years coaching football. That's how that was, right? So I totally understand when you're saying like it. I won't say saved our life, but it definitely gave us like Titanic, the raft. Like there was room enough for us on the raft. Like it could have been a drowning situation, but it was cool. So like, no, I totally fuck with football for that. Like I'm But I feel that it's gotten me to where I need to be, to where I'm able to do this kind of shit and move on to other things, is where my mind's at with football. I don't know what I'm doing next year. The kid goes up. I'm not sure with COVID what's going on with football, but yeah, like I'm hoping for the best.
Man, I'm like you. You know, this whole situation right now that we're dealing with in life, man, this whole COVID thing is kind of like really just fucked up. It kind of puts a lot of shit in perspective for you. You know what I'm saying? When you're thinking about long term, when you're thinking about how far you've come in life, you know, what's next? You know, what's the next chapter? You know, and there's a lot of different things that I've been exploring as of late, especially with the COVID stuff going on. I've started writing again. More intensely. Yeah, working on a couple projects. One of which is I'm trying to turn into a series. I'm hoping that will happen. And I think that that's more my avenue. You know, wanting to see how far I could take it. Just like with the music back when, you know, I was always curious to know how far I could take it. You know, I've also had a great curiosity.
Trying to write a mini series, like a movie?
Yeah. No, like not a movie, but like a mini series, like something like almost like a web series, or maybe like a show,
like a Money and Violence.
Something like that, but picked up.
But
by
I'm not saying like
network.
that. I'm not saying like that as in the sense of that is that show, but that
avenue, that lane,
genre.
Yes.
Okay.
Type of like kind of like a bit of a crossbreed between some inspiration from real life and, you know, fictional life, because I think
keep that on the low, bro. You ain't got to put the idea out there.
Point when it meshes well, it works. Ooh. For sure. But it's still in the process, and I've had a lot of time. Fortunately, I've had a lot of time on my hands as of late, mainly this last month here, to really put a lot of work into it. And like I said earlier in the pod, you know, it's just something that I've always enjoyed doing. Writing is kind of like an escape for me, especially when I'm struggling with things. And we all go through shit at different points of life, you know what I'm saying? And it's great to have an escape place that you could go to, you know. Before all this restriction shit, before all this restriction shit was going down, I was in the gym, you know, every day. And that's my iron paradise. You know, I loved working out and just getting that energy out. And now that everything's,
people need the gym.
Yo,
hold on. I was just about to chime in with something he retweeted. So thank you for the perfect counter there, Joey, because something that my man here retweeted today really, really resonated with me as to why I'm so okay with all this. Staying home ain't hard if there's peace at home.
Yeah, that's it. And it's crazy that you said that. I retweeted that. Biggs Burke, formerly of the upstart Rockefeller, tweeted that very same quote today.
That's where I got that from. That's where I got that from.
So I put that, I retweeted that today, and it's crazy that you say that because it's true. You know, and another thing is peace is costless, but it's costly if you allow for it to be disrupted. You can't allow your peace to be disrupted by anything. That's very important.
Bars.
You gotta make sure that you protect your peace at all times, or all costs, because, you know, negative energy will find you. You know, negative energy will find you, and it will disrupt the very fiber of your being. So you can't allow for any of that shit to happen. And as human beings, we're all sensitive creatures to energy, yo. You know, a lot of people don't really take those things into account, but I'm telling y'all, it's very dangerous when you allow for people to jeopardize that, or to come in between, you know, what you're trying to build for yourself. You know, especially if you have a family or if you have things going on, you can't allow for anybody or anything to come in and disrupt that peace for you. So again, protect your peace at all costs. Protect your energy at all costs. Don't allow for anything or anyone to disrupt it. But it's definitely something something that you need to uphold and maintain throughout your life, your period. It's crazy. We kind of segued in that direction, but it's true. It's very true. And the gym for me was one of those outlets that I practiced every day. I got a little bench in the crib, that I hit, but it's not like when you're in the gym. When you're in the gym, it's a completely different universe. You got your music in your ears. You're in an element of where people don't matter. It's just you, your music, and the weights, and you're just doing what you got to do, and you're in and out. I like to spend time.
Everybody's there to do the exact same thing.
That's it, and sometimes
it's like going to the fucking library.
Same shit. You know what I'm saying? The library is very underrated too. I spent a lot of time in the library, reading books, comics, and shit. Shout out to Skinny. Skinny can definitely relate to that. It's crazy. Nope. I was at.
You've lost me. I never hung out in the library. Like, sorry.
Yeah, yo, it's crazy. I was in the Dollarama, maybe like 2 weeks ago, just buying some shit, and they had like all these crazy comics on sale. I'm like, the Dollarama has Marvel comics on sale. That's not just any good, bro. Bro,
come on.
Did you get those in the Dollarama too?
Yo, those were gifted to me from someone who got those at the Dollarama, and they're like,
bro,
yo,
let me since Skinny want to take, I got this one. Got this one from the Dollarama the other day. This was ill.
Oh, you got Infinity Gauntlet? What?
I got with the Black family, with the
yeah, man. Because that's all from War Zones. Yeah. That's all War Zones and stuff.
There you go. So, man,
I love it. Yo, we have literally gone through all aspects this episode. What is that?
I'm gonna have to go get that. Soul Taker.
Soul Taker.
Yeah.
That just sounds like
what X-Men one is that? Hold on, I know that cover of the X-Men. That's go through those shits. You have one Wolverine. Yeah.
This one is real.
That one's super hard. Yeah, it's the third one I'm looking at. I don't have that one. That one's super. Yes. Ooh. That's nice. You killed that. Front Lines. Yes. Front Lines is dope too. From Civil War.
You know what I enjoyed most about comic books growing up was the artwork.
What?
The artwork and
the artwork is ill.
I got you for artwork. Hold up.
Yeah.
Always in my thing. That's why I like comics so much, because I used to do like graffiti and shit like that, right? And comic books and whatnot are always, but I was never really like a good artist like that. But when it comes to letters and shit like that, I was dope.
I got this ish from the dollar store, and I was reading this, which Joey. This is what I was reading to Lalandra yesterday. I introduced her to X-Men at 275.
I might own that.
Shouts to Strut, because actually Strut gave me this. And this is like Jim Lee's first appearance. So I was legit like, you want to see where you came from? Okay. This is who you is. And she was just like super attracted to that look. Secret Invasion. Yeah, man, that's gonna be hard. So yeah. These comics, the artwork is just like, I love the artwork. It's just all I'm about, this stuff. But my daughter being named after an X-Men, I gotta,
That's ill. Isn't Lalandra Banshee's sister?
No, Lalandra, Banshee's sister. That's Lalandra.
No, Banshee's sister is was one of Xavier's girlfriends.
Banshee's girl was one of Xavier's girlfriends. It was Moira McTaggart.
Laura McTaggart, that's it. Lalandra is from space, right? She's with
Shi'ar Empire. She's a magistrate. Shi'ar Empire. Which is the name play is a whole like with wifey and my last name. I was just like, well, look, if I'm gonna go hard, let's go hard. So I'm just like, I'm a Robert, she's a Crevier. Lalandra, Empress of the Shi'ar Empire.
That's crazy,
right?
So what that's what.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did there. Exactly.
I was just gonna ask you how in the fuck, for like all the dads out there and like dudes like that, how in the fuck did you convince your wifey to like, yo, so we're gonna name our daughter after an X-Men?
Ain't no convincing. Just with that.
But then the way you put that shit together right there was like, oh yeah, shit, like.
Yeah, she was with it. She's just like, okay. She's just like, so we went with the Lucien, which is obviously family name, and then Crevier. So it's like we got LL, but then just the idea that it's like I'm very like, I tell her every day, I'm like, you're gonna be a queen, you're gonna run these people, you're the empress. So when people want to know where you came from, you're from Shi'ar, which is simply us. She's the empress of the Shi'ar Empire, and she's always gonna know that. Who knows where the world's gonna end up, but if X-Men movies come out in I don't know, in 20 years they start doing Phoenix Saga again, bet you, mark me, Milani is gonna be Lilandra in them movies. Don't care.
Ooh.
Don't care. It's her name. You can't deny that. It's her name.
That shit's been put out into the universe.
I need to link up with Chris Claremont yesterday. Be like, dog, that name that you made up, I put it on. It's everywhere. So yeah, we got a few names in the docket that are gonna hit you. But yeah.
Damn,
that's ill.
Yo, it's diabolical. Yo, you were planning this wow.
Yeah.
You're having the baby. I'm gonna plan this shit, and she's gonna be. What? Look,
I wouldn't even plan it like that, but honestly, it's a hard name.
No, don't take that. Just let it. Just open it like it's crazy. Sarate to you, my dude. Sarate to you.
Holding that name to the chest and not telling nobody was very hard because you know how girls be. What's your name? Oh, it starts with an L. Okay, it's from comics. Okay, is her name Lois? Nah. What about Lana? Nah, it's a superhero. Okay, is it an X-Man? Yeah. You gonna call her Rogue? Absolutely not. No, we're not calling her Rogue. You had to go with something that sounds could be Gaelic, it could be West Indies, it could be but it's not. It's a perfect mix. So yeah,
that's.
You can tell that a lot of thought and care went into that name, just off the fact that he had that different combination of elements.
Which makes me feel like a shitty father. I'm not even gonna lie.
Names are great for your kids. You mean?
I'm not saying my kids got bomb ass names. We're not saying that. But I did not put that much motherfucking thought into the situation by any means. There was not that much. Back when I was younger and I ran with a crowd that used to, how do I put this without getting in trouble?
Do things
with the automobile variables of the situation and locate them from one place to another. So New Jersey was the number one place where this would happen.
Oh.
For a time being, I knew some people that were doing it, and when they were doing it, here was on the top of the list. So I was like, oh shit. So when I had a daughter, throwing names around, and I was throwing shit around like Free and Letitia. I was throwing the most Nick. Nope, not gonna say it. I was gonna say it, but I wasn't. But we all know what I was gonna say. Names out there, whatever. And then me and her mom has decided, Jersey. I guess she had watched the Coyote Ugly movie and heard that on some real trailer park type vibe. I drink it not because they paid me for it, because I like it.
Yep.
So we went with Jersey, and it's cool. We've met a couple over the years, but when it came to Harlem's name, that was it.
That's an ill name.
Super ill name, man.
There's so many things and ways that you can remix that. Every time I see him, I just call him Harlem Knight. I always say, "Yo, Harlem Knight, what it do?"
Great movie.
That's my guy right there.
Great movie. No, man, there was no real thought put into the name. It was so much just
Oh, there we go. I'm back.
I looked up, and then finish what you were saying.
Yeah. So when it came to people knowing the name, when it came to Harlem, I had heard The Game say Harlem Quran on an album, and I heard that, I was like, yo, that sounds like the hardest fucking name. The hardest. That sounds like king shit. You know what I mean? That was on some other. And so I had that little moment of that, and then shout out to my homie who's no longer with us, the homie Jesse. It was going to be Jesse James Wilson was going to be my son's name out of my homie and the outlaw Jesse James and a bike builder. Because anybody knows me knows that I'm heavily into motorcycles.
Yep.
The chops doesn't come from, I like eating pork chops and shit. I don't do karate. I ride motherfucking motorcycles with ape hangers and straight pipes. I'm that dude. That's where the chops comes from. So I was like, okay. And my father's middle name is Mackenzie. So I was like, Harlem Mackenzie. He's the Harlem Mac.
Harlem Mac. Hey.
Bow.
Love that.
So that was my mental on that. It was like, yo, even if he's He's not. He's the coolest kid. But even if he was a goofy ass kid on some goofball shit, it's what's your name? I'm the Harlem Mac. It's over. No matter how goofy you are, you're still a G.
Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy. I remember when Harlem. I remember when Harlem first came to Sunnybrook, and he's just this little kid. He's had this little small ass voice.
Little shit. Oh, he was a little shit.
Little pudgy kid with a small ass voice. You didn't know you wanted to play, and he fit right in. And then I had the pleasure of watching this kid mature and grow. 4 years in front of me, and he's got this bar tone in his voice now. He's got the braids going on and then fro from time to like now. Last year you're just walking around like he's the big guy and the big dog. Defensive line MVP. He came a long way. He came a really long way. Your son did, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know you gotta be
pushed
proud.
him in the right direction, like the tree grew crooked. I took some tape and I wrapped it around that motherfucker. No, you go straight. This is how to throw it. I start to go left. I poke it with a stick. Go back this way. This is where we're at. Like right. And I mean, but then keeping him a G. Like when I got him his 52 chain, like the gold 52.
Yeah.
That added an extra. Like yes, my son has a gold 52 pendant, skinny. Like some real hip hop shit. Like his fucking football number. And when I got him that, it mentally changed him. Like if you dress good, you play good. Like
is that how it happens?
100%.
That's how it happens.
All year that he rocks that thing, like that's his chain. Like it gave him that sense of this is my chain. Ain't nobody taking my chain.
Yeah.
This is my shit, right? So it gives you a sense of security with that, right? So it gives you something to hold on to. So yeah, it totally changed. I changed him with that. It was crazy.
You know what? You got that from his dad. That's like an everlasting memory. He's never gonna forget that shit.
Straight up.
He'll probably wear that for the rest of his life. Hey, and pass it down to his kid.
If he decides to play some sort of professional football and he can get the number 52, I know that on any given Sunday, not only 2 scoops, he would have ice cream reference. I'll see that shit on like TV on like a Sunday, like hanging out of his fucking jersey. Like I paid for that.
I gotta ask y'all actually, since we got like 8 minutes. I want to ask y'all real quick. Okay, first of all, so many football movies have come out since we've been teens and now. What's your favorite? Your favorite football movie? Because I can name 3.
So I can answer that very quickly without even hesitating.
Yeah,
The Program.
I don't know that one.
That's my favorite football movie.
What were you trying to do? Lead me on?
I don't know that one.
Latimer scene was wild, bro.
Ooh, man. Yo, where he jumps off the cliff like at the motorcycle and the girl like they took scenes out of that movie where they were laying in the middle of the road, right?
Yo.
Like laying in the middle and the cars are blowing by them. Like that movie had so many different aspects of football. It was great. But yeah, I have to say The Program was my favorite football movie.
Sheesh.
Yo, for me it was Any Given Sunday.
I was going to ask you because that's top.
Any Given Sunday and Remember the Titans. I have love for both for different reasons. But Any
Very
Given Sunday
movies, but very same, yeah.
is like 1A, and then Remember the Titans is like 1B. I love both those movies for different reasons. Yeah. But I can't choose which one is better. I just love both of them. I love The Program too, but it doesn't have for me that stay power, like why I love the game. Because Any Given Sunday is like NFL-esque, and then you have Remember the Titans, which is more you as a kid when you see that movie. Because I just watched that movie with my entire football team. Like we went to the movies the Friday night before our game with the whole squad, right? So that was like an everlasting memory. And it's like when you're playing for the Mustangs and you're seeing that shit with your boys, it gives you that energy. The next day we whooped that team's ass, bro.
I bet you did.
Yo, we went off. We went off strong side.
Insert cheat code here.
Like, and then any given Sunday, you have like Willie Beam, and and you see like how the pros are. It was dope. Oliver Stone did a great job with that movie.
LT scared the hell out of me in that movie.
Oh, for sure, bro.
LT was scary, yo. When
Shark, he was
dog, when he was in the steam room and I was just like, oh, you're about to do something crazy. He was just sitting there mad chilling. I was like, this is scary as fuck. Like, why are you so villainous? But he's not.
I don't know if y'all knew this, but there was a fight scene in the movie with
LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx.
LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx. That was actually a real fight. Years later, Jamie Foxx was doing an interview and he spoke on that. Yo, LL really decked him. They actually used that.
But Jamie hit him first.
Jamie did hit him first.
Jamie snuffed LL first.
They were so into that scene, but they already had a beef. The both of them had a beef while they were filming the movie.
And the energy, and shit.
There you go.
LL Cool J slapping pads and shit. Yeah, I heard that.
It segued into that scene, and they were both still carrying that animosity towards each other. So that brought out more in the scene. And that fight that was recorded was actually a real fight. It happened for real. And Oliver Stone kept that cut. They were supposed to cut it, but they ended up filming it and ended up editing it out. And Jamie Foxx and LL both admitted that was a real fight between those guys. They carried so much angst towards each other while they were filming. That's what happens though when you kind of mesh up two alpha males, in together with that shit. And it's crazy because just to kind of segue off that for just a second, they were supposed to make another Fast and the Furious. That has nothing to do with the football movies, but they're supposed to make another Fast and the Furious movie. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and
Vin.
What's his name? And Vin Diesel. They had a beef too. And you wanted him to come back and make another movie, but they had a beef that was happening during the production of the last Fast and the Furious. This is the one before him and Jason Statham made the spinoff.
Yeah.
And then Vin Diesel tried to arm him into making the sequel to end it off, using the kids and everything like that. And then Dwayne Johnson's The Rock's like, yo, fuck you, I'm not fucking doing no
yeah, he brought up Homeboy. He brought up the dude that passed, and The Rock was like, listen, like, like The Rock was like, listen, I told you I was going to come back. That was kind
of whack though.
Yeah, he's like, I told you I was going to come back, Groot. So this ain't gonna happen. And Vin tried, but
But yo,
for me personally, it's Any Given Sunday.
That's Hollywood, man.
And Gridiron Gang.
Oh fuck! Completely forgot about that one too.
Gridiron Gang's my joint.
Shit.
Funny that you said The Rock
crazy too, because The Rock is the star, right? He's the coach, and that's actually a true story. That's actually a true. They based it on a true. The movie based on a true story. So yeah, man, that was actually an ill one too. Fuck, I didn't even think about the Gridiron.
I stumbled on that movie.
And you remind Sean was his name in that movie.
Yes.
You remind me a lot of him in your coaching senses of like when you like trust the process. I was like, cool. And the way you come out, I was like, yo, where he does that scene where he just fully dressed up in equipment and tells the kid, like, I want to see how good you are. Knock me on my ass. I totally see you putting on shoulder pads and a helmet like, yo, show me how good you are and fucking smoke me. Like I totally see that, right?
It's crazy. I work with my nephew right now in the wintertime, and he's like a little itty bitty. You know my nephew used to come around to the practices towards the end, and he's like 7 years old. And he's like, tackle me, uncle, tackle me. And I'll just go and I'll truck the shit out of him. He goes flying.
You gonna learn today.
He said, bro, that's exactly what he tries tackling. He's like, I'm like, all right, you come tackle me. And I stiff arm the shit out of him and he goes flying. But he fucking loves that shit, though.
That's how I knew Harlem was gonna be good at football. Because I did the same thing with him as a kid. I'm like, I'm not worried about you getting banged around because like I played with you like okay, you can like you got it. Like you're a little kid, like it's fine. Your bones are rubbery and shit. Like you'll be good to go. Like, don't worry about it, you're all right.
Bones
so that's why I know your nephew's gonna be great at the sport because physical contact is not gonna be a problem for him.
Man. H, thank you so much for joining us, man.
For sure. He's got a screw loose, man. He's gonna be all right, man. For sure. 100%, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on.
We can't go no further than that. We done touched on I can't even say everything because we spoke about. All right, I'm gonna go up. Here we go. Yo, we spoke about you going to Italy, dog. We spoke about you going to Poland, Germany.
Yep.
Fucking we spoke about Onyx. We spoke about Peoples. Albums. 11 studio albums, people. Like coaching fucking football teams. But overall, if I could give and I mean no disrespect, I mean nothing but love and flowers. If I can give motherfucking Nigga of the Year award, bro, you are my Nigga of the Year, homie. Like, respect, and I mean that. Bro. And all the King passion, like 100%. I'm so glad that you came on this episode today, bro. An hour and 30 minutes. I would rather have spent nowhere fucking else, but right here doing this. Fantastic. I got nothing else to say.
Tell them where to reach you, H.
Yo, right now, I'm going to be honest. I'm no longer on social media. I decided to take a little break off of it. Too much crazy shit going on right now. It's really fucking with the homie. So I had to I'm pulled out of the social media universe. Right.
I get you on Twitter every now and then. I'll pull you out of I get you.
There you go. I was just about to segue to that, but I am on Twitter. I came off of IG. I'm not on Facebook. You won't find me there, but if you want, HtheMan on Twitter. I'm always dropping something every now and then, spontaneous thoughts. I mean, today I watched a bit of football. You know, I've been a little bit in a funk. Today, actually, I appreciate you, Chops, and Skinny for having me on. You know, just to keep it real, been going through some shit, and coming on here really got my energy up. So I appreciate y'all for having me on.
I heard when I spoke to you earlier, that's why I was like, yo, when I get him on here, I'm gonna get his mind and I'm gonna help him with get right. Like, it's good. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to, you know, to kind of revive that energy.
I mean, so they can't find you on Real Talk Sports no more?
Real Talk Sports is definitely there. Make sure y'all lock in next week.
There you go.
My homie Chopper Style going to be back, episode 2, this Wednesday. So make sure y'all lock in. You can find us on YouTube, all capital letters, official Real Talk Sports. Also, like I said, on Twitter, I'm on Twitter. That's twitter.com/HtheMan. You can reach me there. Got random thoughts. I'm always talking shit. Actually, I was just attacked by the Twitterverse, the trolls of Christmas Land, because I didn't know that Vincent D'Onofrio was Ed the Bug from Men in Black.
I didn't know that either. Don't feel bad.
It was crazy, and I had all these trolls coming at me, talking to me about. I have Twitter at my Google at my fingertips, and I didn't Google. I just did not know, and I sarcastically just said, "Shit, that can't be Vincent D'Onofrio. Just a small role for such a guy who is just epic. He's an epic actor." So I really just did not know it was Ed the Bug. And I had the trolls of Christmas Land just literally come for my throat.
Such a reference. I love it.
They did not appreciate me not knowing. So, hey, like I said, Twitter again, .com/HtheMan. You can catch me on Real Talk Sports every Wednesday. Joey Chops again will be there this week. We chopping up about sports, everything that went down in the NFL playoffs.
All the fuckery.
Shit. Skinny, we'd love to have you on as well as a guest. I know you're right now on your pat leave, so continue to enjoy yourself. Salute to you. Congratulations again on baby girl and the family. You're awesome in many ways. We got to get this new project out ASAP.
Yeah.
Need to get Dr. J Red. He's got to be the next guest on Chopvision.
Hey, call him right now. You call him out right now because we've been trying to get him.
I got you. I will make that happen for y'all this week. I don't know if y'all already have a guest plan, but Dr. J, in the very near future, he's got to be on this shit because he's got so much to tell you guys and really just an awesome individual. And I'd love to see him on the pod. But I appreciate y'all again for everything, all the support over the years, you know, all the inspiration, even for right now. Like I said, I'm going through it, but I had a great time here today with y'all, and I appreciate y'all for giving me the platform to be able to express myself and talk about some of the history behind not only the music but the creation of who I am today.
The legacy.
Right hand salute. Appreciate y'all.
Legacy.
Respect, man.
No problem, man. Chopvision episode 35. Y'all, we did that. We're around. We'll be back next week. And you know, we're just gonna leave it off with this. H might know this one.
Oh, yes, sir.
This is what's gonna come, because when you did this, I'm like, he's not done. You're not done. You're not done.
Hey,
we'll see y'all next week.
Appreciate you, Skinny.